Hare Krishna, dear Srila Gurudev. Dandavat Pranam. Please accept our respectful obeisances on behalf of all the devotees who have gathered here today. On the day 5 of the session, Leadership for an Age of Higher Consciousness, we are very pleased that all this while in these 4 sessions that we have heard from you previously on the various topics, and now moving on to the the next series in it, and we are all very eager to hear from you on this matter, and we deeply pray that we be able to imbibe all that we hear from you today. So we welcome and invite you, Srila Gurudev, for day 5 of the session.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasai Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Dhira Damodara Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Chaitanya Sri Gaura Kara Sakti Bhakti Dhira. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasai Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaura Vani Pracharindri Visesa Sunyavadi Pastata Desachari Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakayan Chakchulan Militam Janatasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Sabitam Jana Bhutale Swailarupa Kadam Himrati Swapadantika Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktan Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama. Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. We're very happy to be with you again this afternoon to continue our discussion and the teachings of the Bhakti Dhira Damodara on his leadership book, book 1. Today we are looking at expanded realities for the mind. Yes, so beginning with the title for today and the different sections we're going to look at. There are 12 sections we're going to look at today. Chapter 4 is expanded realities for the mind. Here we're going to look at tapping the mind's potential. The mind is very powerful. We're going to look at it. We hear what Krishna said about the mind to Arjuna when Arjuna asks about the nature of the mind. Tapping the mind's potential, we're going to look at the mind and body connection, how the body and the mind connect, how do they relate? The mind and the body. What the relation? We know we have the physical body, body upon Allah you come on body rebacha. Ahankari iti amne bina prakriti me astada. Bina prakriti astada. So we have these 5 panchabi, mahabhuta panchabi, 5 gross elements comprising this body. The gross body. So beyond the gross body, we also have the subtle body. The subtle body. Beyond the subtle body, we also have the spiritual body. So the mind and the body are connected subtly. The gross and the subtle. There is connection. We have the subconscious mind. We're going to look at all that. And then we're going to look at the mind's, learning the mind's power. How do we use the mind? How to use the mind. We're going to look at that. The expanded mind, psychic phenomena. Psychic is a metaphysical word, psychic. People like that. People like when you use a very big word. People like, when you make things very complicated, you have importance. If you say something that nobody can understand, you get title. If you speak something, that's your immunity. That's what it means by immunity. there is no conclusion to what you propound, and nobody can understand the terminologies you use. So you are money, so you are rewarded for that. But actually, that is foolishness. How does it look like if a teacher comes to the class and he has decided, I'm going to teach somebody nobody understands in this class? How will it look like? Will you consider that teacher to be a wonderful person? But that is what is driving the whole world today. What is driving the whole world today is foolishness. And people are paying money to become trained as fools. Sophisticated fools. One of the professors in, I think it's, I forgot the name, the universities in America. The professor said, today our university is producing highly skilled barbarians because we don't have future for our students. It's a perfect confession. You are going to work in a company, somebody is telling you, in this company, want to work here? In this company? Okay, you work here. You're not going to have salary here, and you're going to work like ass here. Even if you cut your hand here, nobody's going to pay you. You'll work there. But this is where we're sticking our head in. Every day, everywhere. This is what is happening. But a Christian consciousness will give a clear understanding. That is why you see it's only here in the Vaishnava tradition there is question and answer. Christianity, no question and answer. Islam, no question and answer. Whatever you speak and walk away, no question, nothing. So what does that mean? The fools are training fools, even in the so-called religious circles. So we're going to look at that. Then we go beyond that, the physical body, to look at the astral body. Astral body. Astral, what is that? Subtle body, the same thing. Astral. The same thing. Subtle body. Astral body is the same thing. Subtle body, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Then we look beyond the time and space. What is beyond time and space? Absolute knowledge is beyond time and space. Absolute personality of God is beyond time and space. And the particles of absolute personality of God, like the living entities, also beyond time and space. We will look at that. The oneness of all things. How everything is one. Could be impersonalism, Maya body. Everything is one. Everything is Maya. So we're also to look at that, how the oneness of all things, how everything is one at the same time, still different. Then we look at the extraterrestrial life, fact or fiction. Some of these things, the thing that especially leaders should have idea, because some people they don't have the culture of mysticism. They say superstition. They will say superstition. It is not superstition. It is not superstition. It is reality. So we look at that. Your subconscious arsenal of power, the mind, creating the proper environment. Yes, proper environment. We know that even hygienically, if you have a clean atmosphere, you have a good health. Similarly, if you prepare a spiritual hygienic situation, spiritual hygiene, we will also have a very healthy Krishna conscious life. So we'll look at all that. Then we'll look at something like dream and interpretation. Dream interpretation. And the last one is the importance of sleep. We already mentioned something about sleep last time. So today we'll look at it in a more deeper way. The importance of sleep. I remember some friends requested me to write a book on sleep. I was wondering, why sleep? Write a book on sleep? Two devotees requested me. I was surprised. Why did they talk about? They didn't ask me to write a book on something. They asked me to write a book about sleep, on sleep. So what does it mean? later realized how sleep is so important that people don't sleep. Some people find it very difficult to sleep. So when they come to Krishna consciousness, I see how devotees sleep very easily, sleep in the class. Dhira Damodara. Or Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So people are no, people who take peace before sleeping, when they see devotees, they be shocked. What is it? I remember his Holiness Bhakti Dhira Maharaj told us. He told us one day in America when somebody came to the class, and as soon as he entered the room, the temple room, Prabhupada was chanting Dhira Damodara. As soon as he sat there, he slept until the class was over. When the devotee was getting ordained, somebody was starting at the moment. Before he came out, he slept throughout. So when they woke him up, he stood for some time, then he requested the devotee, "Excuse me, can I see your master? I want to see your master." Say, "For what?" "I just want to thank him." "Thank him for what?" He spoke. He said, "Yes, I never slept like this in my entire life. So I don't know the miracle he performed." "I came here and I slept sound. I have never had this in my life. Therefore, I want to see him to thank for the miracle he has performed." For Hare Krishna devotee, it is not the issue. Like I was saying, what is the problem about writing book about sleep? Well, it's a real problem. It's a real problem for many people. So we'll look at the importance of sleep today. It's very, very important. How the sleep has a serious influence, is a powerful way of the spiritual knowledge being imparted. Right? So we will look at this. All right. Expanded reality. Reality is for the mind. The mind, which has great range and power, is capable of extraordinary accomplishment. Your awareness of its vast potential can, one, deepen your appreciation of the mind's contributions to the progress of human civilization. Two, it will provide you with invaluable guidance in personal and leadership matters. Three, it will enhance your ability to serve the highest good in all that you do. The mind. If you remember in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was concerned for the mind. And Arjuna complained how the mind is so difficult to control. Arjuna preferred to control the wind than to control the mind. But Krishna did not condemn his experience. Krishna responded, yes, your experience your observations is correct. There is a process to control the mind, to train the mind, so we can use it in a very wonderful way that it will help us to progress to make progress in our Krishna consciousness, to make progress in our day-to-day dealings, the mind. For example, everyone in the material world have difficulties basically because of the nature of the mind. We don't know how powerful the mind is. That in chapter 6, Krishna Krishna he was speaking about the mind in chapter 6. And there we discovered that the mind is so powerful that it will influence intelligence. The intelligence, according to Bhakti Dhira, intelligence is superior to the mind. How is it possible that the mind cannot influence intelligence that the mind is supposed to depend on? That is the nature of the mind. That the mind is very, very powerful. Don't forget, last time I gave example of the mystic who was training Lobsang Rampa. Part of the training for the student, he brought in a machine without the key. Like he have a portable generator. And he's keeping the key. I requested all the students start this engine. How will you start the engine without the key? He's holding the key in his hand. Let's try to understand the power of the mind, the power of the mind, the potential, the tapping the mind's potential. I'm giving all this at the same time. So Lobsang Rampa is training the student. Start the machine. And look around. How you start the machine without the key? You don't give the key. So none of the students could start the key. And he's still holding the key in his hand. Now he kept it down and look at the machine for a minute, and the machine started. So it's a shock. He didn't use the key, not that he plays on tricks. The key is there, not that he plays on tricks. Then he explains, you have to construct the key in your mind. First of all, you construct the key. You construct the key in your mind. Whatever you construct is a key. How you design, we have seen experience that different key have different design, different shape. But the key you construct, it will operate that machine because that is what you have constructed. So everybody has to construct the key in the mind. And after constructing the key in the mind, you put it inside. Put it inside, and you are consciously doing in the mind that it has entered, and then you started it to spark and start. Don't forget, we have the same experience. This is a metaphysical way, but we have a devotional way also. Don't forget the nectar of devotion. The poor Brahmana who was cooking sweet rice for Krishna, he was not cooking physically, he was cooking with the mind. But what happened? The sweet rice had been cooking in the mind became manifested. That Krishna was eating the rice he was cooking in the mind, and until Krishna became satisfied and he became purified from that mind devotional service he's doing, and he attained perfection by that. Because one day Krishna had to ask him to take the sweet rice. He touched it, and finger actually got burnt. That's the mind, the power of the mind. We all have mind. Nobody is without mind. When we say you act like you don't have mind, it means that we are not using our mind. I want to say you are less intelligent, you are so dull, you have no intelligence. It doesn't mean that one has no intelligence. It means that we are not using the intelligence. We are not using it. We are not using the mind. We are not properly using what we have. So the mind, if it's properly used, the expanded realities for the mind. If the mind is properly used, Gurudev said, the mind, which has great range and power, is capable of an extraordinary accomplishment. Your awareness of its vast potential can deepen your appreciation of mind's contribution to the progress of human civilization. With the mind, we can do so many things. Okay, I just give example. One we are very familiar with, and also another one we are not familiar, in metaphysical one. So we have this example. And from here, every one of us can know that it is true that we have the mind. And the mind can deceive us to tell us lies, which the mind has been doing since time immemorial. So we are suffering unnecessarily because of the conditioned mind. So when we know this, we will be able to accomplish many things, to provide the most invaluable guidance in personal and leadership matters. For example, if the man is trained in Krishna consciousness, we will be able to see things differently. We will see things differently. We're not going to see things the way we see presently. To be different. In this way, we can remain always happy and equipoised at all times, looking at every situation with a distance. You understand? Look at the situation with distance, like you're standing outside to see what is happening. That's the mind. The mind can accomplish more. It will help us in our leadership. It will help us in our personal lives. All right? Tapping the mind's potential. Almost everyone had that people use only about 5 to 10% of our brains. Only 5-10%. Only. It's too small. Out of hundreds. That is too small. But what is amazing is let us just look at the 5 to 10% which our brain is using. This is just 10%. Look at our cell phone, the functions. Look at the thing we create. Or look at the thing we keep in our brain, in our mind. Just look at. Just look at, for example, look at this book. Gurudev has covered so many things. So many things are here. So many things. That is just 10%. Just 10%. It's amazing. So the question is, what will human beings be capable of if they use the entire brain, all 100% of it? If they did so, they will be the gods they were intended to be. Microcosms of the macrocosm. Self-contained energy unit with the power to move mountains. And this is the understanding of Jesus. This is his own realization. This is his own nature. This is what he have realized. The application of the mind, what the mind can do. This is not just a philosophy, something that he has realized that is happening, that he put it down. Whosoever means what? Whosoever means what? Anyone. None is exception. The exception means we are not ready. We have not come to a human platform yet.
It's 3 o'clock.
Thank you. So anyone has this ability. I'll give you an example. You see the hand, everybody has hands. In these hands, everyone, not just some, all of us, in these hands, There are medicines inside. Natural medicine is inside the hands. Natural. We're talking about metaphysical. Let's look at it. This hand has medicine. If you have any itching anywhere in your body, what goes there? You have anything itching you anywhere in your body, what goes there? The hand. Why the hand? Because there's medicine there. There's medicine there to relieve you from the itching or the pain. There's medicine. It's not just a useless thing. Because there is medicine. There's medicine inside it. Therefore, the hand goes there to relieve you. You don't put your leg, you don't put your shoulder, except if it is, you can do it. But what naturally goes to any pain is the hand. Because the medicine is there in every hand. Some people know how to use it, some do not know how to use it. That's a different thing. But in reality, every hand has medicine inside. So if our mind is trained, if our mind is trained, or you know how to use the mind, if you know how to use the mind, if you know how to use the mind, you can accomplish many things. There is one tradomedical healer. Tradomedical, you understand? Tradomedical, or is what do you say? Tradomedical. Those who deal with natural herbs, like different herbs, plants. So he has a clinic. There's a naturopathy. He has a clinic. The first treatment he will give to any patient that comes there, the first treatment that he will give, the first thing he will give to any patient before he will give something else is, have you forgiven? Have you released your mind from holding something negative? That's the first treatment. Release the mind. Release the mind from all the things you are holding up to, unnecessary things. Release the mind. That is the first treatment you will give. The mind. We're going to look at the, the connection between the body and the mind. What happened to the body will affect. What happened to the mind will affect the body. I will give an example. Anything that happens to the mind will affect the body. The body will not affect the mind, but the mind will affect the body. For example, if someone is dull-minded, if someone is dull-minded, everything you will do will be very slow because their body will be very heavy. You cannot be sharp. Those who have a very sharp mind, they will do things, something for 1 hour, they can do it in a few minutes. Those who have sharp mind, you can cook in 5 minutes. So Papa cook four varieties and many varieties of food in 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, the devotee were shocked. How did he do this? The mind is very sharp. And everything is done from the mind. So those who have a very sharp mind, they do things very fast, very clear, and very, very smooth. But when the mind is very dull, everything, something was 13, you can go for a whole day. The person is going to eat and talk and do something at the same time. And 30 minutes, the person is going to spend 1 hour. Because the mind is so clouded and forget so many things I have to do. I forgot. It's the mind. It's the mind. So this doctor, from experience, Have you forgiven? Have you released the mind from all the unnecessary garbages which is there? Go and release them completely before he will start the treatment. This is the mind. So Jesus is speaking. Whosoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be cast, and thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his mind, no doubt, but shall believe that those things which he said shall come to pass. He shall have whatsoever he said. Jesus said this to the disciples, and he was not joking. I mentioned before that this is a realization. Bona fide teachers, they don't speak book knowledge. That is one of the difference. Bona fide teachers, they speak their realization. They give their realization, not just book knowledge. They give realization. And that is why it is very important to follow their realization, because if you follow their realizations, we will benefit so much and miss and overcome so many difficulties. So if the mind is fully convinced that we can move this mountain, a mountain will be moved. In a Madhura Kadavini, Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur said, one of the obstacles a devotee will try to avoid is feeling or being the spirit of defeat. Oh no, cannot do. Oh, this is no. Oh, this is for pure devotees. This is not for me. This is for pure devotees. For you people, it's okay. Not me. Cannot do this. It is not just. This is not humility. This is not purity. This is complete ignorance and laziness. So humility is different from being lazy or being dull-headed or dull-minded. They are complete different things. The mind can move mountain. My faith can move mountain. That's what it means. Faith can move a mountain. Yes. A physical example. There was a war in one of the African countries here. Serious war. Two soldiers, they want to take over the country, become the country. So they're fighting. And it became an international issue. So different countries were sending soldiers to go and help. So there was one military general from Nigeria that had to go and take over the fighting. When the fighting was going on seriously and the rebels were taking over. So one of the military general from Nigeria, he went there. As soon as he got there, he called all the soldiers. Tomorrow morning, we're going to start before evening. All of us must take half of this country. Finish. Yes. The mind. The next day they did it. Just the next day. Because he boosted the spirit that we can do it. This is not about false ego. It's not about false ego. It's the power of the mind. That the mind can work in a very powerful way. I can become a good devotee if I follow our chariots. The mind should be convinced of this. If I follow our chariots, I can become a good devotee. If I follow. You should be convinced of this. If you're convinced, we'll be able to do it. So we should learn how to use the mind in Krishna consciousness. All right? Tapping the mind's potential. The potential is vast and can be developed simply by training unused portions of the brain to work in new ways. You can develop your capabilities by helping your conscious, subconscious, and superconscious minds to work. Then you can teach those you lead how to do the same. What is possible for one human being is possible for us. So as a leader, we have the power to influence those who are under us. But as a devotee, as a good leader, we influence people positively, not negatively. So as we're discussing about the mind, how to use mind, how to understand the mind, how the mind is working, how the mind works, and how to use the mind. A devotee is sitting down, chanting, and using the mind to listen to the sound of Krishna we are vibrating. And the mind is also contemplating the form of Lord Krishna. You see, this is a mind's activity, not just the eye activity. It's the activity of the mind. That is why it is very, very important for us to be conscious before becoming Krishna conscious. The mind has to be used. The mind have to practice using the mind to think about Krishna, Krishna's devotee. Right? Have to engage the mind in doing something. And we already talked about mindfulness. We have extensively discussed mindfulness, how to use the mind. Because we are talking about the mind, we practical experience. If you keep a cup of water in the hand, keep a cup of water in the hand. Anyone, you would mention before, every hand has, like, you see, if you can make an experiment, just bring your hands together like this. You see that you feel some energy. See, you see some energy. There's some energy. Don't you? Yes, there's some energy inside. So if you put a cup of water in your mind and place on your hand, the left hand, and place the right one on it. Put your right on it, but the fingers should not touch the body of the cup. The middle finger should not touch. You just bend it a bit and place it there. So whatever you feel in your mind, you can think of Krishna inside that water. You can think of Krishna. You can think of Krishna's color. Krishna's color is blue, dark blue. You can think of Krishna, dark blue color, and think of that, and chant Hare Krishna mantra inside there with the mind. If you do this very consciously, seriously, 5 minutes, taste the water you see, it will be like alkaline. It will not be normal. Try it and see. So you can have a particular experience of how the mind works. That mind, that water becomes medicine because it's now charged with some. Because the water is connected with Krishna, so you connect everything with Krishna. So it's part of exercise to make one Krishna conscious. If you can do this every day like that, how wonderful our Krishna consciousness would be. So you are thinking of Krishna the whole day. This is what we are here for, to become Krishna conscious. So with this, we are practicing how to be conscious, because we are conscious beings. Subconscious, that is more subtle than the mind. And then superconscious, when we talk about superconscious, we're looking at the super soul. The super soul. We are connecting with the super soul. As a leader, we have to guide people properly. What do you think it would be like if a leader is leading all the citizens this way? You are automatically making everyone becoming Krishna conscious without having them to face openly that is Krishna, that the Krishna conscious are practicing. If we are listening to this carefully, you see that we are leading people Krishna consciously without having to shave your head, to put tilak and put all the necessary attire and become a visible Hare Krishna person. But you're already developing your Krishna consciousness naturally. So this is the best way to have a bridge preaching. I want to develop people Krishna consciously without them understanding they are teaching them Krishna consciously. It is nothing is diluted. Eventually, the people will become Krishna conscious without knowing that they're Krishna conscious. All right? The mind and body connection. How the mind and the body connect. We already mentioned briefly. Many diseases have direct or indirect psychological correlations, in which the mind causes the physical body to accept its conclusions, and the body reacts accordingly. Some years ago, a neighbor went to a party. In that party, he couldn't control his senses, and he ate so much. So, although he ate too much, he was eating too much. He knew that he has eaten too much. When he became uncomfortable, the mind told him that someone has poisoned the food. And he 100% accepted that he had been poisoned. So he came to me, my friend, I'm going to die. I went to a party yesterday. They poisoned my food. I'm going to die, my friend. What to do? What to do now? What to do? So I look at him. I said, my friend, it is not poison. You ate too much. He said, no, they were too much. I know the person. I'm going to die. I said, my friend, you ate too much. That is poison. It's poison. He was fully convinced, and because he was suffering, and in the mind he has accused so many people who did nothing to him. So I advised him, you just go to a doctor and see. So he went to the doctor tested him all, and he saw nothing. The doctor told him, put hand in the throat. He put hand in, vomited, he threw up everything. And that was the treatment he got. He came back and said, my friend, thank you. Thank you. I thought it was poison. He suffered unnecessarily. So the body was already shaking because fear. The fear from the mind affected the body. He would have almost collapsed because of fear. Like this corona virus. So many people died because of the fear, the mind. Their body was affected. The moment someone doesn't have headache, he's already shaking. Oh, is it corona? Is it corona? I'm having a headache. You have been having headache since your childhood. Why this one is so because the mind has convinced the person that now is corona. Before you were having headache, what was it? Before the corona came, you were having headache. What was it? But many people die because of the mind convinced them that what they have now it is corona. Even if it is the coronavirus, they would have died. But because the mind had convinced them, the body started reacting to it, the fear. the body get a shock from the mind, and the body will be affected seriously. Psychoneurology is a study of the mysterious way in which a person's mind and emotions can influence the immune system. It appears that in addition to the thought in a person's mind, positive emotions such as hope and love can help speed the healing process. There is little doubt that the mind can be the most powerful healing tool. Yes. If someone is sick in the hospital, just go there. Just go there and tell the person, your friend, whoever is the person, tell the person, my dear sister, my dear brother, see, everybody loves you so much. We are all crying because you're here, and everybody's expecting you to come back to the house tomorrow. Everybody wants you to come to the temple. In fact, everybody is praying for you seriously. We want you to come back to the temple tomorrow. Tomorrow, everybody, we are praying that tomorrow you should never sleep in this hospital. Tomorrow, you will never sleep in this hospital. We are praying seriously you come back to the temple tomorrow. Don't sleep in the hospital tomorrow. That is what everybody's doing. So we are here to pass on this message to you. I'm telling you that person will come back to the house, to the temple the next day, because they might have accepted this powerful word which has penetrated the body. The mind will accept it. So the mind accepted, the body will get healed. And if you go there and tell the person, it's opposite, we should not do this, but this is an experiment. Just tell the person, we are all very happy that we're in the hospital now, and we are praying that you should not come out to the temple because nobody likes nobody likes you in this temple. Nobody. I'm telling you that person will die the next moment. The next moment, before you finish a sentence, the person will die. This is the power in the world, the mind. Immediately the person will be affected. Leader, we should learn this. Hope and love can help speed the healing process. Speak lovingly. We want you back tomorrow. We need you. So many things are going on because you are not here. Everybody wants you. We are praying that you come out of the room. You will never sleep in this hospital. The patient will be healed. Seriously will be healed. So, like Gurudev said, we should practice sending the technologies, sending healing, well-being, satisfaction, peace, love, serenity. Start sending that to somebody. You can imagine how environment will be. You who is doing that, how your own life will be. It's wonderful. And those whom we do that, their life will be very wonderful. The mind and the body, they're connected. So whatever happens to the mind, it will affect the body. Right? The mind's learning power. Another example of the vast potential of the mind can be found in the learning process called suggestology. Very nice. There's so many things, suggestology. Also referred to as superlearning. This is an effortless technique in which specifically selected music is played in the background while the learner, in a deeply relaxed state, listen to lessons, commands, or instructions. I have a practical experience. His Holiness Bhakti Bhakti Madhurya Govinda Maharaj. So one day he was doing this for me. He said he did so many devotees. He was doing this for me also in Mayapur. So he asked me to lie down. So I just lay flat on my back. I relaxed, just relax. And then every day also he does this. Just relax, completely relax, free, but not sleeping. Just relax, not sleeping. Release all the nerves and just lie down. Very relax. In yoga, you can before breathing exercise, we practice how to relax the body, completely. This helps to release all the tension, all the unnecessary toxics in the body, to give the mind also a very, it will reinforce the mind, the strength of the mind, to listen to the scripture very deeply, to participate in Krishna activities very deeply. So light and very, very relaxed, and he was speaking Krishna Lila. And then the mind start capturing that. The mind start thinking about that, capturing that. The exercise is very, very, very nice, very, very sweet. The mind captures that. You go into there as he's describing, listening. So you're going and going and going. See. You can see the picture of Krishna as describing. As we hear verses in Brahma Samhita describing Krishna, and just mentioning all that. The fruit, the people, the lotus fire, the standing, everything. The decorations, the garlands, and everything on the body, we're describing perfectly. So this is very, very powerful exercise in our Christian consciousness. This one way. Another way is like this, a music which is being played in one organization. They have a music. The side A is played only in the daytime, and side B is played only in the night. Don't play it otherwise. It's psychic music. So this helps to balance the energies in the body and create wonderful opportunity for one to have the ability to increase the use of our brain, that we can learn very, very fast. Accelerated learning technique. See, wonderful tools. It's very, very good for us because we have a lot of books to read in Christian consciousness. We have a lot of books to read. So many lectures, so many. So it's a very good technique. We can expand the mind, so we can use it very nicely in our Christian consciousness. Right? Psychic phenomena. The vast power of the mind is also demonstrated by the existence of psychic phenomena. The field of parapsychology, which studies these phenomena, can be viewed as a bridge linking together the humanities, religion, and the arts and sciences into an integrated understanding of how the human mind interacts with the cosmos. The other day we mentioned that whatever we think, it goes to the ether. So it's not just nothing. And here we have an example of devoted Prahlad Maharaj, whose mind is fully absorbed in Krishna and Singhadev, that he is not even affected by the externals. Nothing external affects him. Because the mind is so trained in Krishna consciousness that in his mind there is nothing. He sees Krishna, he sees the Singhadev everywhere and everything. Therefore, there's no problem for a developed mind one who has developed the mind in Krishna consciousness. Prahlad is sitting here in association of dangerous snakes. The mind did not see them. The mind only see Krishna's diverse energies. And he sing Nrsimhadev in awe. Therefore, nothing can happen to devotee. Lord Krishna, Lord Krishna mentioned to, he was speaking to the gopis. If only I did not favor you, that anything fashioned against you will function. Otherwise, nothing. There's nothing. Nothing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to Srivas Pandit. You and Advaitacharya called for me. I came here because you called for me. And then what are you doing? You are praying to who? While I'm here. What are you doing? Whom are you praying to? You call for me here. I'm here and I'm praying to who? Tell me. That time there was a news that the Nawab, the Qazi, is sending soldiers to come and destroy Srivas' house with all his devotees. The Srivas that locked the door and was praying to Nrsimhadev. But Chaitanya will come and kick the door open with his leg and enter there. And he's asking Srivas, what is this you're doing? They're praying to who? You called me. And they're praying to who again? Huh? If I did not give permission to Kazi, how would he come here? Huh? How would he come here if I don't give him permission? How would he come here? Okay, even Shiva, let me tell you, even if you don't believe me, let the soldiers come and take you. I will enter with you in that boat. I will enter the boat with you. I will follow you with you. I will go with you everywhere. Even if you don't believe that I'm the Lord you will call for, that I have come. Okay, let them come and take you. I'm going to wait here. So I will follow you to wherever they will take you to. So do you believe that now? The Lord is in the mind, and devotees who have connected themselves with the Lord, the Supreme Lord, in the mind, will never see anything except the Lord. So where is the danger for a devotee? What's the danger? The mind. And because the nature of our mind, everything around us, if we are connected with the cosmos, if we have good relationship with nature, everything will be favorably with us. Everything will be favorably to us. If we have good relationship with nature, we are sick, we have different disturbances in the mind because of our wrong relationship with nature. We're not connecting with nature. If we are properly connected with nature, this is from the mind, everything will happen favorably. And poison will become nectar. In the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Karna released a weapon to kill Arjuna. Lord Krishna came in front of Arjuna, and that weapon became a garland for Lord Krishna's neck. So we should know how to connect with, how to be friends with nature, how to be friends with nature in many ways. In many ways. Most of the diseases, sickness we get is because of our wrong thinking. The mind is negative. We already discussed the other day. People who are sadists. Sadists, they are sadist because their mind is contaminated, seriously contaminated, completely negative, 100% negative. They never think anything positive. They're sadists. Sadists, look at the mind. They never think of anything good. Everything they think is negative. So they're sadists because the cosmic nature will return back all our negativities back to us because that is what we are sending to the ether. So the devotee is careful with the mind, who train the mind in Krishna consciousness, like Prahlad Maharaj, the mind. Should be attuned with nature. And everything will be wonderful. Everything will be wonderful. We have everything necessary for our well-being. Therefore, it is a great lesson for especially leaders because if we don't train our mind properly in Krishna consciousness to understand how to understand everybody and everyone, then it will be difficult. The mind has to be properly engaged in Krishna consciousness. And you see all the wonderful creations of the psychic ability that will come out from even the world, even by your look, everything becomes charged with a powerful energy that you can do something with the mind. You can touch somebody with their mind. Someone thousands of kilometers away, you can touch the person with the mind. Very, very, very sweet exercise. Very sweet exercise. Now, then you can you can have what is called a distant healing. Distant healing can heal somebody in the distant on the mind. The mind. Simply bring the person in the mind to where you are and project everything you want to do with that person. The person will get healed. The mind. Yeah, you can do that. Anybody, anywhere, you can heal anybody, anywhere. For the mind. Yes, the vast power of the mind is also demonstrated by the existence of psychic phenomena. You can do so many things with the mind. Look at Prahlad Maharaj here. From his mind, none of the dangerous snake here can bite him. No. See, it was a shock. It was a shock for his father. What this boy? What is in this boy that defy all my attempt? What is in this boy? Because the man is Krishna conscious. The man is Krishna conscious. So all his attempt failed. Prahlad Maharaj didn't use any weapon, but he used so many things. He used poison, used snakes, elephant, boiling oil, everything. But because the mind was fixed in Krishna, none of those things has even effect. But if the mind was bad, the oil will have burnt him. All right? That also comes in mind the importance of prayer. You can pray for somebody. Bring the previous one back. Let's see. Bring the previous one back. The last thing. Highlighted, yes. If illness or other disturbances could be cured by resorting to the power of thought and prayer. Yes, as I was saying of distance healing, it's from the mind. You can heal someone. You can cure someone. I also give an example of an experiment with water. Just water. Very powerful. So you pray inside it, it will work. All right. Next, the astral body. Every psychic phenomenon presents a conduit to another dimension or another form of energy that is not acknowledged by orthodox belief systems, and demonstrate that humans are more than just physical beings. That is a fact. For example, we have this Chilean photography. Certain researchers believe that the limb's etheric double, which represent the perfect pattern around which the physical body is formed, remains intact even after the physical limb has been removed. If a person has a physical amputation, the subtle body is not also amputated. You understand? The physical body is amputated, but the subtle body is not. So what happened is just the physical, but not the subtle body. The subtle body still have a complete body. So if you see a person who has been amputated, when you see that person in a subtle plane, the person will not have an amputation. And then we'll see some word like ethereal. These are psychic terms. There's a cord connecting. When you look at the super soul, the diagram of the super soul and entities connected, that lie between, that is called ethereal cord. And everyone has that. I have the picture in that picture. You see the super soul is connected. I think it's Bhagavata. You know, the pictures of Bhagavata. You see the super soul and so many other entities, varieties, animals are all around. And there is a string of light that connects all. That's ethereal. That's the ethereal cord. That connects every soul. When people do projection, astral projection, that is the connection between the physical body and the subtle body that has gone up to the physical body. It is very, very bright and shining, like you see on the picture. Very bright and shining. So the astral body is the subtle body that goes out of this physical body. And it shows that yes, the soul is eternal, and there's also the shows the reincarnation, because the soul cannot be killed. So the body has to reincarnate. Also show how we can be convinced that actually we are different from the gross body, and also different from the subtle body. But as long as the soul remains in this body, that connection is there. That connection is still there. So those who are very, very fortunate, they have this ability. Let's hear what this person will say. He learned photography. Next. Throughout my whole life, I have been aware of the fact that everyone possesses a second body, a double. The double is a distinct fact in Einstein and theological teachings, and as such, it is said to be an energy body, a magnetic aura associated with the physical human corpse. The way she put it, this is a human body, it's a corpse. Where is the matter? An area in which the immaterial forces of the cosmos are normally transformed in the life and belief of the individual. For for people from the East. This is a natural thing that, a natural belief that the soul is eternal and it is astral body. It's a natural belief, unlike other people who will find this as something extraordinary. That show how deeply sunk in ignorance we are. And we are very, very deep in ignorance. We cannot understand this. But to those who are enlightened, understand that this is a fact, this is a reality. And it is so for some people it's a mystery. But those who are very, very friends, they can see this because he has a psychic ability, so you can see this, can see the ethereal body. You can also see the gross body and see how both of them are separate from each other. So for her, she feels that this is a normal thing that has been happening, not something which is superstition. Like some people say superstition. It's not superstition, it's real, it's a fact. There are varieties of living entities, 400,000 species of living entities, just human alone. That includes all kinds of entities. All right, thank you very much. Yes, so this is ethereal cord. Every living entity is connected, so we don't see it. So when the soul leaves the body, for example, if the soul leaves the body, what is connecting the soul in their subtle body with the gross body? It is this cord. And if this cord becomes black, you won't come back to the body. It means you have been disconnected. That is why it's in our Christian culture, we don't start teaching people astral travel. Some people, that is their focus. They teach this. But it's dangerous for a condition who have not controlled fear. If you leave the body and visit a different environment, they will know. They will know that you are a foreigner. And they threaten you, you become afraid. You come out of the body. So in Christian consciousness, we don't go into the body. These things are there naturally. When we continue to practice, we develop to the point we can see all these things. You can see all this in common. It becomes a natural thing. So see, there is nothing which is outside Krishna. Nothing. Everyone is connected. So Prabhupada use the word, the part and what? The parcel. The part is the individual and the parcel. Although we are part, but we are also a part. We are in connection with Krishna. There's nobody who is outside Krishna. Nothing is outside. Parts and parcels. Very good. Thank you for that. Nice. Yes. Next. We must face the fact that our world, with its time, space, and casuality, relates to another order of things lying behind or beneath it, in which neither here nor there, nor earlier and later are of importance. I have been convinced that at least a part of our psychic existence is not characterized by a relativity of space and time. I give an example. Say, if the soul leaves this body, when the soul leaves this body, you can speak any language. You are not limited to one particular language. But when you enter the body, then you are conditioned to that particular body. You can speak only a particular language, except you learn it. Then you start speaking language, you learn it. But if you, the soul, get out of this body, you don't have to learn it, it's automatically there. So the space occupies and covers everything here in this material. So our limitation, that we say condition soul. They proper use the word condition. So condition, we are yes, constricted, compressed, forced, locked up in one thing, just locked up in one corner. So those who are enlightened, they know that there is something beyond time and space. What is that? Spirit. And the Supreme Spirit, Krishna. Beyond time and space. The soul, Carl Jung. This is a understanding, because there are still fortunate people who have this psychic ability, because these people, they just came down. They just came down from higher planets, so the ability is still there. They still have the remnant of this thing. Like some people are heavy, famous boxer, famous wrestler. These personalities, they just came down. After some time, they become more and more conditions, and then they go down and become infamous. All these conditions are there. The leaders should have this understanding, so that we can always be conscious of our Christian conscious life, and always be aware of what is happening, and not be confused or bewildered. We have to know this, so we can be able to lead people properly, to guide people devotionally, so that everybody will take to Krishna consciousness somehow or other and become elevated in Krishna consciousness. Right? Oneness of all things. The Vedic philosophers believe that since all things are one, in the sense that they come from God, and are but different aspects of God's energy, this oneness is responsible for the interconnections that underlie psychic experiences. In this sense, God is simply knowing, relating, or interacting with different beings, radiating from himself. Thus, it is easy for God to lead us, to heal us, or to know us, because everything comes from God in the first place. All right? We are one with Krishna. Everything is one in the sense that everything has origin from Krishna. Everything has origin from Krishna. Everything. There is nothing which is separate from Krishna. So Krishna and Krishna's energy is one, but still is different, because she is the supreme and we are the tiny. Right? Extraterrestrial life, fact or fiction. This is another issue that is very, very controversial. So controversial that people like to keep it secret, even though it shouldn't be secret. Why should it be secret? There are living entities everywhere. Living entities everywhere. Sarvagata. Everywhere you go, you see living entities. The problem is that conditions show we tend to understand that other forms of life have no existence. It's only only human beings have existence. This is a big problem. And because of this big problem, it's a big barrier that is prohibiting us from going deeper into what is natural. What is natural? It is the soul. The soul is natural, and the soul have no limitation. In the first canto of Bhagavatam, Prabhupada is mentioned at first canto chapter 5. So Prabhupada is mentioned in the purport, the soul wants to be free from the confinement. The soul wants to be free. Want to be free. We want to go back to our origin. That freedom is required. But because we are so conditioned, we are thinking that other forms of life have no existence. It's only human. Therefore, we want to keep this a secret. What is secret? What is secret? The secret means that you want the message to go slow, not fast. If you want the thing you call secret to go slow, not to go too fast, it's a secret. Because if I tell you, Prabhu, see what happened? I saw angels. They descended. And I saw Nadimuni. But don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody this. Just keep it to yourself. Yeah, it is no more a secret. If it is a secret, then you shouldn't say it. But once it is said, no more secret. Because when I say don't tell anybody, you are going to tell the third person and tell the same to don't tell anybody. Just keep it. This is what I heard from Prabhu. Prabhu said, don't tell anybody. You're also going to tell somebody, don't tell anybody. So in this way, it will go very slow. Instead of putting on the Facebook, everybody know in a minute. But this one, it will go very slow. This is what you say is secret. There's nothing like secret. Confidential thing, we have confidential thing. But secret is there's nothing like. So people are trying to hide this. Whatever one may think about the validity or the meaning of UFO experiences, these investigations are helping the human race gain more information about the vastness of God's creation and demonstrating that people perceive only a small portion of the total reality that can be experienced. And people try to keep things away from fact away. From the East, everybody knows that there's so many living entities. When you look at the scriptures, what do we see? Maharaj Yudhishthira performing Raja Shuja sacrifice, and people came from all other planets. People came from everywhere. So why is that the problem? Indra came. So why is that the problem? Extracelestial means what? Undefined flying object, unidentified. When they saw this body, we don't need a vehicle to move. You don't need a vehicle. So if someone descend from heaven, come here, now they only descend here. Yeah, you don't have a gross body. So it's not UFO, Madamune. You know UFO. It doesn't have a physical body, but it's existing. So when people like that come and some other entities, they come around, the folk Kumara, they appear here. All the devotees were very happy. We were very happy. Yeah. I'm fortunate. Very fortunate to see that. I saw folk. Hey, I saw Kadem Goswami. Hey, great. Hey, I saw Prabhupada. Yes, it's Goswamis. I saw Radha and Krishna. They were dancing. I fainted. What you would like to get this? You not be it will not be a surprise for you. Be happy. But for condition, unfortunate soul, it is something they are trying to hide from people. Well, how can they hide? We have seen a lot of other entities, so many other entities, so many. So for us, this is nothing. It's not a big thing. It's a normal thing. It's a normal thing that the souls will experience all other souls from the other planetary systems. So we should know this. We should have experience. We know that these things are not fictions. They are not fictions. They are living entities everywhere, and they can come here. Why not? Those days they were coming. They were coming to participate. Prayers offered prayers on the Singha Day by Vidyadharas, by Nagalokas. Means what? From different planet systems, snakes are coming to attend a festival to come and glorify on the Singha Day. What's the problem with that? So for devotee, it's not a problem. We know there are living entities everywhere, and varieties of living entities. For those of us who have come from some psychic, psychic or mysterious villages, where a lot of experiences, seeing so many entities. There's so many entities. The scripture describes so many entities, varieties of entities, 400,000 species of human. They are all there. You can see. In the world alone, how many species are there? They're all there. So it is not a secret. It's not something that is so mysterious.
It's 4 o'clock.
Oh, great. Hare Krishna. Mysterious because we have become so conditioned. That is why certain things are becoming difficult. For example, if you see a person who is 100 feet, 100 meters tall, how will you think? If a person like that appear today, how will you feel? Everybody will run away. You run away. But when you hear of a journey, you hear about all these demons, what do you think is their height? You look at the scripture. Eh? I rest assured, I come into Brindama. What's the height? Well, like a mountain. What's the height of a mountain? Huge, tall. It's a person. So at that time, nobody, that is the height. So people would not think otherwise. But today, some of that appear, hey, what is this? Everybody will run away. This is a situation now that all these things have become a surprise. Like, whoa, what is this? What is this? And become a huge issue. People are making a lot of issue out of it. It's a simple thing. This is the problem, ignorance. This is the problem, is ignorance. So leaders, we should know this. We should know this. We should know our scripture tells all these things, and they are not fictions. Sukadeva Goswami, Parishit Maharaj will not have time for fictions. Our children will not have a time for fiction to come and tell us something that doesn't exist. And we can experience that all the things we are hearing, studying, reading, and preaching about, you're having experience of some of these things. So it's not just a make-believe, it's something that is the reality. Right? So there is life on other planets. Even if our politicians or our scientists cannot see, that is the problem. Subconscious arsenal of power. Yes, dreams affect a person's life more profoundly than one might expect. One way to appreciate the power of the dream state is to consider that a person's waking activities could be the result of these dream world experiences. Have you understand that? We have mentioned before that to have a mindful sleep, it depends on activity we perform during the day. That will influence our dream. So, for example, a person who is going the whole day thinking, oh, how life will be like. How life will be like if I'm using Rolls Royce car. How life will be like. And you're thinking seriously about this the whole time. In the night, you're going to ride the Rolls Royce car. Right? That is the kindness of Krishna that physically we are not going to have the ability because our karma does not know it. But Krishna allows us to have it in a dream. You see how Krishna is very kind. This is how the dream works. It depends on how we live our day. We'll be affected. How we live, what we think the whole day. It will affect us in the night. While we're sleeping. The astral body, composed of the mind, intelligence, and ego, is often more active during sleep than in the waking state. One could even say that people are more asleep when they are awake and more awake while sleeping. This is very important. Very important. How is that? Considering that on average, 1/3 of a person's life is spent sleeping, one can appreciate the need to understand the sleep state in order to gain the maximum benefit from it. There are certain things which we cannot understand when we are awake. So it's like we are sleeping. Because the mind is very dull. But in the astral plane, we are more receptive. Therefore, sometimes Krishna Master will teach us in a dream. On a practical note. I know something about the devotees, not physically, because physically, when I ask them, they refuse. But I know the truth from the astral plane. When I ask the devotee on the astral plane, tell me what they did. And the truth will come from there. But physically, you said no, we deny and tell lie. So these things are not fiction. We should know, we should be fully convinced that the soul is eternal. We should be very convinced that the soul is eternal. We should be convinced by now, all of us should be convinced that the soul is eternal. This is absolute truth. Why? Absolute truth is that which cannot change at any time. At any time, it will not change. Krishna is the supreme personality of God. It is absolute truth. It cannot change any time. A living entity, part and parcel of Krishna eternally, that cannot change. It's absolute truth. The spiritual world is eternal. This cannot change. Absolute truth. So we are more asleep, though our so-called awake, than when we are asleep. Therefore, we get a message. Powerful message comes in the dream. Powerful message comes in the dream. And chastisement may also come more in the dream for those who are ready for advancement. Needy. What do you think? What do you think? True or not?
Yes, Gurudev, it is true.
All right. So we are more receptive in a sleep. In a sleep. So the opposite is the sleep is awake, and our wake is sleep. for most people. For most people. And when we are ready, we will get more training in the dream than the physical. Because in the physical, we take things for granted, too much for granted. Because of whimsical familiarity, we take things for granted. Especially if your spiritual master is very, very simple. You will have difficulty. If you're not careful, you have more difficulty. Because in Kali Yoga, people like to be treated like God. Hey, dude, come on here, fool, you rascal. Oh, people always say, yes, yes. They fear and they don't commit offense. But if you treat people friendly, in Kali Yoga, many people will become more offensive. But one cannot change our nature. We have to do what is right. To take all of you as friends, as children, and try to push gradually. Next. Creating the proper environment. Monitor, so many things here, there are 5 things to look at here. 1, monitor your thought carefully, because the nature and quality of your thought just before sleep can have a powerful effect on your experience during the dream state. You should take note of this. We have already mentioned, we have already given a practical example. Because there are certain things which we may not have in this world, and that is what is our dream. So in the dream, you dream you are a king. You're not going to be a king this time. You are a king. It means that in a previous way, and for this time you're not going to be, you can also have in the dream. 2 ways are there. So we should be careful with how we live our day. We have mentioned it before, because this will have effect in the quality of our sleep. To have a mindful sleep, it depends on the quality of how we live the day. What are we thinking the whole day? What preoccupied our mind the whole day? It will have effect on our gross body and the subtle body. 2, you can also request that answers for important questions appear to you in your dreams. This happens always. Consciously pray. Consciously make a prayer, or can write it consciously with feelings, and offer that. And with that mood is you enter into sleep. You will get the answer. you get the answer. It is certain that you must get the answer. I have mentioned how I was writing a letter to Gurudev and he gave me the answer right there. Because I was serious about that. I was serious. Oh, Gurudev, this happened. And then I came to the point, please, Gurudev, please don't abandon me. At that point, don't abandon me. I went off and I saw him appear, big smile, and shouted to my ear very loud, I don't abandon anyone. I came back. I came back to that. So I found the letter and I offered to him. I didn't continue again because he already answered. 3 months, he was not in Nigeria, he was in the US that time. 3 months he came to Nigeria, that's the first thing he said. The first thing when he came physically. So after when he came, we do the feed betting and Guru Puja and offerings and distribute prasadam. Dhira Damodara, he finished chanting, the Dwani prayer, he finished chanting, and then I never abandoned anyone. That it. So I got the message. So these are not fiction, it's reality. So in the beginning, I mentioned that Gurudev did not write a book. He presented himself in the form of the book. If you remember, this I said from the beginning. So these things are practical things that we should develop these things by practicing them. It's not just a philosophy for us to hear and clap on for the speaker and say, Jai, thank you. Oh, wonderful clap. This is practical life. This is our life. We want to live this way in our Krishna consciousness so that we can become successful in our Krishna, become an ideal devotee. The world is looking for a person who is functioning like this. The whole world is looking for this person. And remember we mentioned, Jesus said, whosoever, he didn't say some people, whosoever, any one of us will come to Krishna consciousness for this. 3, avoid eating as bedtime approaches. This we have mentioned many times. Eating heavily before bedtime also increases sexual stimulation. Creating heavy abdomen that pushes on the genitals and can provoke sexual dreams. So be careful. I said these are practical things. It's a practical. I know that some of you have a very powerful digestive system, but still do not do this, because even if you have a powerful digestive system, you can eat 11 o'clock and heavy food, go and sleep. It will have effect on you. To have effect on you in many ways. We should not do this. Human beings should not eat heavy food beyond 5 o'clock. And in the village, I'm a village man. I came from village. I have practical experience. Only a goat eat through the night, and witches eat in the night. Other animals like a fowl, when the fowl is coming from out, wandering the whole day, they come back to the house to sleep. They will clean their mouth. I have never eaten this. I have closed that. Today eating is closed. Before they will go to the house, finish, not eating till the next day. Human beings, what are we doing? Even animals don't do this. Why human beings are doing it? See the fact. You cannot be free from sexual agitation. This is practical. Most restful hours for the body are from 10 p.m. to 12 midnight. If you go to bed after 10, you may need more hours of sleep to compensate. Even if you compensate, the body will still not be properly nourished. The body will still be weak. Before going to sleep, you might listen to pleasant, spiritual-oriented music or read literature of a spiritual and philosophical nature. This we already discussed last time. And we gave you so many technologies. So it's another thing to add. So you can add this to the technology we already had. Next, dream interpretation. Dreams do not need your conscious assistance to serve their intended function. Very nice. That is true. If a dream is significant, it will ultimately affect the conscious mind, whether you analyze a dream or not. For example, a spiritual dream will make its impression by producing some new awareness during your waking state. As soon as you awake, it's another practical technique to follow. And before you get out of bed, try to remember everything that happened during the previous night. Do this before moving any part of your body. Then you can write down your dreams in the journal in order to appreciate them at a later time. Keep in mind that once your feet touches the floor, you will immediately shock yourself back into physical waking state. And most of the subtle dreams experience may fade from your awareness. Next. During sleep, individuals have many opportunities to grow. They can, one, meet with loved ones who have transcended to higher planes of life, visit centers of learning, receive instruction from great spiritual masters, encounter a variety of other experiences that can contribute to a deeper understanding of the purpose and meaning of life. The soul also has a chance to be in a more natural state, less bound to the gross physical body. Next, these are technologies we can apply. So they want to explain. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Questions, comments? There are already 2 questions from the chat. Right, 4.
Gurudev, we also have Pranhari Prabhuji raising his hand.
Go ahead, Pranhari Prabhu. We are waiting for you.
Thank you very much. Nice lecture again, Maharaj. This is, binding me to come every week to listen this particular subject.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Maharaj, my question is that regarding the mind only is one is that what should we do that our mind should not go in a different direction, because while we chanting or while doing other exercise, it's keep going in a different direction, because we try to bring it back, but still it's slipping from the hand. So what should we do that, all the time, because we go out. And also the another part of that, basically, that where it comes from, actually, these different things in the mind, where it comes from, because some of the thing we never explain but still comes in the mind.
First of all, I want to, before answering that question, I want to, it's a public place, but still, I'm going to wish you a happy anniversary.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
And we pray that you remain exemplary householder so that others can follow.
Yeah, thank you, Maharaj. Yes, thank you, Maharaj.
Very addicted.
You remember, Maharaj, you remember that. Thank you very much for remembering.
The scripture said that a woman is qualified to be called a mother if the children are devotees of Krishna. People don't like to be called a mother. Women want to be called as Prabhu. They don't want to be called mothers. But for me, that is ignorance. Here, the scriptures say that a woman is qualified to be addressed as a mother only when her children are devotees of Krishna. I'm sure your children are devotees. So now you are qualified to
Mhm.
address as father. And the
Thank
wife.
you, Maharaj. It's
So,
because of you, Maharaj. It's because of your association. You know what I was, you remember that. And so you know that me very well. So I don't need to tell you. So you've changed me completely, actually.
it's Krishna costless mercy that brought us together. So your question was, where does this thing come from? Where is it coming from? That from somewhere this disturbance just come to the mind. It is coming from the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the record board that keeps all the impressions of all the things we have been doing since time immemorial. Yes, it is recorded there. So as we change bodies, they go with the subtle body. The subtle body is the storage that carry the soul and carry everything that one has done in a particular body. It carries all what was to the next body. So even though we have physically forgotten in the physical body, the mind that has stored all these things will be bringing them out, especially when we start to practice Krishna consciousness. And it is very good because now they are coming out so that we can deal with them and let them go. So we should allow them to come and let them go. We should not maintain them again because now we know that they are not necessary. We don't need them. So let them come and let it go. We cannot say that not today, sex desire will never pass to fixed. You need to succeed. I say mechanical way. Oh, from tomorrow I will never think bad about somebody. It cannot succeed like that. It's mechanical. We have to gradually work on these things with the help of discipline in Christian consciousness and the power of bhakti with association of all our charities, not devotees. Then it becomes possible. So our day-to-day practice should be, one, to neglect the mind. Neglect the mind means we should not give attention to the mind. Don't give attention to the mind means we simply practice to remember His holiness as we are chanting. Just try to remember the holiness as we are chanting. And it's like Guru Govinda Maharaj said, the moment the mind goes out, we should repent, we should feel sorry. Oh, Krishna, please forgive me for this demon. Please excuse me for this. So this practice, when we constantly practice like this, Krishna see that, oh, see, it's making him fall. Let me help. Then Krishna comes in and take them away. This is the process. So neglect the mind. Disobey the mind. Disobey the mind. Second, disobey the mind means what? The mind said, yeah, you can take tea. No, I won't take tea. No, I won't take. It's good for you. No, it's not good for me. No. If it is good, Prabhupada would have told me to give it up. So you're not good, so I won't take it. No, it's okay. It's for health. No, I won't take it. This is disobedience. So if we practice this, the mind will go. With time and the quality of our sadhana, that will attract the attention of our chariots who will take pity and help us. So one day they will disappear. But the mind will become completely Krishna conscious. Complete Krishna conscious. See, this thing will never pass again. This is the way to practice. Neglecting and disobedience. And then we can seriously pray always pray and feel sorry anytime unnecessary thing passes in mind and feel sorry about it. If you still enjoy it, then it will remain. But if you're feeling bad about it, oh, Krishna, I'm very sorry for this, so please excuse me for this. These are practical things we can do. All right?
Yes, Maharaj, that analogy you have given a very nice for turning on the generator. That's a very powerful statement, so how do we train our like that, in Krishna consciousness? Very powerful statement.
I already mentioned, yes, I already mentioned these things.
Yes.
I already mentioned, I gave many techniques to do that. The mind. I gave example from native devotion, a South Indian Brahmana. He was
Yeah, the
cooking
finger.
with rice. Yes, everything is the mind. We're doing that in the mind. So we can practice that. We can practice, use the mind. The mind will become very developed when we try to do this. It's not to say that we should not go to see the Lord in the temple. I can just sit in my house now. No, we should do that because when we go, it will help us to have more focus. We can state it very clearly, and that becomes printed in our consciousness. So even when we close our eye, immediately it will appear. So we should do this regularly. It will become a reality. Regularly, constant practice. Krishna recommended.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Next.
Shila Gurudev, actually, we cannot see the questions that have come on the chat box. So if you would like to take them, next after that we have Krishna Mohini Mataji.
So let me see. Yeah, the question is, I told you, Sharon.
Sorry.
That was the announcement you said.
Oh, all right.
Yes. Okay, so Krishna Mohini Gorangi.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev. Thank you so much for the class. Gurudev, you said that the astral body is more active when we are sleeping, and
Yes.
most of the instructions and all the time, it's more impactful when we are sleeping. So, Gurudev, why that's so? Because it's considered that when we are sleeping, we are on ignorance. The mode of ignorance is more dominant when we are sleeping. But why is that the astral body gets more activated when we are sleeping?
Yes. It is so while we are sleeping because what are we sleep? Who is sleeping? It's the body that is sleeping, not the soul. The soul doesn't sleep, so the soul is active. And with the subtle body also does not sleep with the gross body. So the gross body is sleeping. That is why we call ignorance. Ignorance is the lump of this body, the lump of flesh. It's ignorance. So the soul is not sleeping. Therefore, it can perceive things when higher things comes. It will penetrate us more because we can. It will have a serious effect in our consciousness when we wake up. Because it's not the body that the message is being given to. The message is given to the soul. Therefore, we can take it, and when we wake up, some of the dreams you wake up with it. It's real. So immediately you understand. I have many experiences. I dream anytime, both day and night. Both day and night I can dream. Anytime I can dream. And they're powerful messages. Powerful. Very nice. Very, very nice. Anytime, any day, both day and night. And powerful messages come like that. Right?
Okay, thank you so much, Gurudev.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Gurudev. Ojishwari Mataji, do you have a question? If so, you can unmute.
Please accept my humble obeisance, Gurudev.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you so much for the nice class. I have two questions, Maharaj.
Okay.
One is that bright light that connects the super soul to every living entity. You have told us about that in Lagos one time. Then I used to think especially now with this your class today, it just joggle my mind. I remember the whole questions. If that is the truth, that we are still connected to the Lord, then I will use this example, Maharaj. Somebody like a father holding the child and was standing on the balcony of a house. Maybe it's like trying to throw the child down. You understand, like a playful something. But the child is not afraid because you know that the father is still holding him from behind.
Yes.
But you see, it's just the same thing. That the Lord, we are still connected to the Lord because he's still holding us. He never dropped us.
Yes.
But we are feeling so much afraid here, as if that we are all alone, and is it because of our mind, or are they all punishments because of forgetting Krishna? This is number one.
Yes, but it is ignorance, it's illusion.
Okay.
Why the devotees are not afraid? Because they have realized that they uncover that darkness, which demarcated us from the reality. So they are free. But because we are still covered over, so we have unnecessary fear, unnecessary anxiety, unnecessary lamentation. So when we practice seriously and clear off this thing, we become free. Then we'll see, like Ramuni said, only in my ignorance, I was thinking I'm separate from the Lord. I never knew that we are one.
Yeah, together.
Yes. So once we discover that, like you said, the father is standing up, holding the baby, and the baby knows that my father. So there's no fear.
He's even laughing.
They are not afraid because they can see it very clearly. We are not in that. Therefore, we have different situations.
Okay. Okay, Maharaj. My second question is, in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, the mind can be our best friend or our worst enemy, according to how we train. Then when we are going back to Godhead, we have to leave the gross body. Then we are also going to leave the subtle body consists of the mind.
Yes.
Then is with that conscious spiritual body, we don't need anything to remind us of Krishna, isn't it?
Yes.
Remember and see Krishna constantly.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. The line was breaking.
Nem, csak segít. Bóramányi problémák, de hívjuk nyugodtan.
Have I lost him?
Yes, I think we're cutting.
Mataji, are you able to hear us? Shila Gurudev, I think Mataji got a call, so she's not able to hear our voice. So should we go to the next question? We have a few questions lined up. We just wanted to know if we should take them now. We have a few questions from Aishwarya Prabhuji and one more question from the chat box.
Covered up 2 hours. Should we continue to extend?
Did you hear my second question, Maharaj?
The last part I didn't hear. The last part.
Okay, I said in the spiritual world, do we need a spiritual special sense to a mind to remember God all the time? Or is it we don't need it?
We have a spiritual mind, we have the spiritual senses.
Okay.
Everything becomes transformed from material to back to the spiritual. Everything came from spiritual to material, so back to the spiritual. So material senses are there. We should have our eyes, we should have our nose, we have our legs, our hands. Both the gross senses, the sense acquired, and all the acquiring senses, all of them we should have them. But now they are spiritual.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So how many questions you made?
Shila Gurudev, a couple of questions, like around 2-3 questions.
Okay, let me take them very fast.
Yes, Shila Gurudev. Aishwarya Prabhuji, we request you to please go ahead and ask your question.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Yes, I think Srila Gurudev is having some connectivity issues. We'll just wait for a few minutes. If not, we'll be ending the session here. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I think there is some trouble in Gurudev's end for the network connection. So we'll be ending our class over here, but we are making a note of all the questions and all the devotees who have raised their hand. And we'll be starting our next session with the question and answers. So in case you have any questions, we'll wait here on the Zoom call and you all may just type it out here so that we are prepared for the next class. And we thank you all for your enthusiastic participation in today's class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Pragati Mataji, for arranging and coordinating this session.